All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I wanted to talk on how people are way too serious on the internet. And I feel like I talked about this not too long ago. I feel like it was maybe a month or two when I had talked about this. But recently I had watched a clip of Senna, the content creator, where she was getting some monitors because she was playing Rainbow Six Siege. And yeah, I think a lot of us know how that went down. It wasn't too good for her. So yeah, anyways, she plays Rainbow Six Siege, breaks her monitor. She does, I think it was either, I don't know if it was her or her cameraman, Rosie, on whichever channel, but I think it might have been on her channel, and then maybe Rosie clipped it. I don't know, but overall though, no, she was at Best Buy and she was getting a couple of monitors. That was the clip, was of her just carrying, buying the monitors and then carrying it back to her car. And so me just being funny, I cracked a joke in the comment sections and I said, for as long as I've been shopping at Best Buy, I ain't never seen a shopping cart in there. It ain't like a Target or a Walmart or a Safeway or a Fred Meyer. I'm trying to think of some other stores. I don't be seeing shopping carts in Best Buy like that. There are people in the comment sections explaining to me that Best Buy has shopping carts. Fam, you need to understand a joke when you see a joke. Obviously, there's probably a super Best Buy somewhere that, yeah, they probably got some shopping carts. But if we gonna get technical with it, Best Buy got like very limited big items, cause I know the outlines of Best Buy. They got like all the small things that you can carry, kind of like it covers up maybe like 90, 80, like, yeah, maybe like 80, 90% of the store, things that you could just walk up, be like, hey, I need this, or take it up off of the shelves. And then they got like the outskirts of the Best Buy store where they got the appliances all the way on the left side. They got the TVs in the back. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, then everything else you could just carry to your car and stuff. So that's when I'm like, fam, that's my knowledge on Best Buy, but we shouldn't be having a knowledge contest on the Best Buy locations, or not locations, but like the not surroundings. What's the word that I'm trying to look for? But we shouldn't be out here having this much of a deep conversation about Best Buy having shopping carts. I feel like it gets to a point where it's like, okay, why are you on the internet? Because I'm on the internet to have fun. I'm on the internet to just entertain people and be entertained. I'm not on here trying to have no debates about whether Best Buy got shopping carts or not. And I think that's what a lot of them wanted. They wanted me to argue back with them. And I'm like, fam, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't need no educational lesson on no Best Buy and stuff. I very well could have just looked it up and seen if Best Buy has some shopping carts. But the funny thing is this though. When I left that comment, because it very well could have just been a comment that just went unnoticed. Like, nobody liked it, nobody engaged with it, nothing. There was people that were also going in with the joke. There was people that were liking the comment because they seen how funny it was. They probably got, because I think the Best Buy that I go to, they got like them big ones where if you get like a 70, 80-inch TV, they got like them like ones that they be having at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and because even they got like shopping carts too. Dang, Best Buy, I feel like so if they do have shopping carts, it's probably 5 at like minimum, or at not minimum but maximum. Like I don't feel like Best Buy got a whole lot of shopping carts, because when I sit down and think about all the different times, yeah, I went into, they got like their own section of the times when I went to like Lowe's, getting like some, and you would think like, okay, you gonna need one of them, like a big old giant like super cart or something like that, right? But no, they got like decent sized carts. But anyways, people were also going in with the joke. People were laughing at the joke. That's why I'm like, man, people, you have to understand when a person is joking. But if you feel like you got to give out some educational, if the person is asking, hey, is there any carts at Best Buy? That's the thing. They're not going to ask it in the comment sections of a content creator. They're going to Google whether or not Best Buy got shopping carts. We don't need that information, okay? At least I didn't ask for the information, but Yeah, man, I'm like, it trips me out when it's like people, they don't realize that you're joking. Like, you have to explain a joke. And it's things like that where I'm like, at times I can understand why a person would need to explain a joke. But then there's occasions where I'm like, for an example, where I'm like, fam, I shouldn't have to explain that. You should know just based on the scenery. We're in the comment sections of a content creator. Again, if I needed to know the answers on whether or not Best Buy got shopping carts, I would have Googled it. Or I would have just went to a local Best Buy and seen if they had it. If I didn't see any, then ask them, hey, real quick question. Do you guys at other locations got shopping carts and things? I feel like they would have put a bag over my head and brought me into the back and been all like, who do you work for? You see what I'm saying? That's a joke. I shouldn't have to say that though, because I feel like that some people will hear me say that and be like, Best Buy employees don't do that. I worked there for 20 years and I've never seen them do no stuff like that. Congratulations. I hope throughout them 20 years you got an employee of the month, something. I don't know, but it's one of those things where you need to understand. I am joking. I have to say 99.9% of the time when I'm on the internet, I'm not being serious, and that's the thing too. Like, if it's a video, like, so yeah, let's say if I'm doing a video, reaction video, or a video where I'm just sitting down talking about some stuff. Like, just recently, I did a video where I was talking about this Twitch streamer that I wouldn't necessarily say we were cool with each other, but we had like a mutual respects of each other when it came down to being streamers and stuff. I think, has she ever joined? I can't remember if she ever did join my stream. Maybe she did. I don't know. But overall, though, when I would join her stream, we talk about the game, we crack jokes, all that stuff. But she ended up being a Trump supporter. And she's not one of those Trump supporters where it's like she voted for the man, but she also, has a respect for the people of her surroundings and stuff. Nah, she's one of those people where it's like she goes on to the internet and she disrespects any and everybody that she possibly can. Now, I don't know if it's on some stuff where maybe people don't really know about. Like, I guess, like, if she went to school with people that aren't Trump supporters and stuff, like, she got like two different lives on the internet. Like, she got her personal life and then she got her content creating life, and on the content creating life, that's where she's being all, toxic and things. And that's the thing, it's like, even just talking on stuff like that, I'm like, man, people, it's like, that's just, I don't know, it's weird. But overall, though, yeah, I did do a video where I was talking about how, I was like, I had to unfollow her because, I'm like, I can't support nobody like that. It's like, I felt like I was being serious in that video. I didn't feel like I was cracking no jokes. Like, if anything, I was just kind of, just it's kind of like a story time video and things, but anyways, yeah, I'm like, man, people, I'm like, I shouldn't have to let you know when I'm joking and when I'm not joking. But yeah, you just got people out there that don't really understand that. And I'm like, I don't know if you're new to the internet or not, but it's like, you need to understand that the internet, it's not a serious place. Like, we do have our serious moments, but at the same time, it's like, bruh, you don't need to give me no educational lesson on whatever it is that we're talking about. But yeah, it's like, it's just, there's a lot of people on the internet that are like that. You can, because I even remember when I did, it was a Stitch video. I think I talked about this the last time I did this episode. But anyways, I did this Stitch video on TikTok where it was of some cops that were they were trying, I think one cop tased the guy, but the guy fought through being tased, snatched the wires out from, I think it was his stomach, ripped the wires, and then I can't remember, what did he say again? He was like, I don't know, I can't remember if he was like, that ain't nothing, or what. He said something, but he just walked off. He just disappeared in the back. Now, I seen that video and I was thinking to myself, if I was a cop, I would quit. I'm like, nah, bro, we just tased this man. And you expect me? I'm like, nah, if we're going to get this guy, we all got to like go in at the same time. But at the same time, I'm not trying to get hit. I feel like this man has the strength of 10 Batmans. If he can just go and snatch taser wires out of his stomach and just walk off like nothing happened. Yeah, that's not normal, bruh. And the thing is this, like, he was a big guy, so I imagine that they probably like upped the voltage and stuff. But yeah, he just fought through it. He didn't even fall. Like, that was a crazy thing. That man was standing there and snatched them wires out of his stomach, and then he made some comment and walked off into the back. And it's like, so what do we do now? Like, if I was a cop, I definitely would have looked at the other officers and been like, so what do we do now? So anyways, I did a stitch video to that video. And then, and I was just cracking a joke. I went and put, TMossBoss, and I think I put in parentheses, retired cop. And I was like, yeah, and that was the day I stopped being a cop. Now, there were people that seen that I was joking, and they were laughing about the video. They found the video, funny. Video actually had went viral. I think that video, let me just check real quick how many views that video got on TikTok. Hold on for a second. That video got 3 million views. That's still, it trips me out when I look at videos of mine and it's in the millions and stuff, the views and things, you know. So, but anyways, video went viral. Everybody had loved the video. Everybody was, you know, showing love to it and all that stuff. But then there was that small corner on the internet they were exposing me on not being a cop. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, it was a joke. I don't think you understand the joke, but I'm thinking, and so no, and it was funny because there was the one comment, somebody was like, oh, it's a criminal offense. If you guys are hearing fireworks in the background, I do apologize. But anyways, but the guy was all like, it's a criminal offense to impersonate a police officer. And I'm like, see, this is where you got things wrong. If I was on the internet telling people, hey, I am a police officer, you're under arrest or whatever, maybe, I don't know how it would work on the internet, but maybe there's a good possibility that I would get in trouble. If I was going out and about approaching people and telling them that I was a police officer, I guess if I don't have a uniform on, I think that person will probably be like, nah, I can't believe you. You don't even have that attitude of a police officer. And it's like, ain't nobody just gonna walk up and be like, hey, I'm a police officer. So people will probably call me out on that. If I got a squad car, a police uniform, some form of a weapon that looks like a gun or even a gun itself, a baton, pepper spray, taser, I got a badge, I got like the badge number, I'm decked out in police gear. Then I feel like that's when it would cross into that boundaries of me impersonating a police officer. But that's the thing, though. When I did that TikTok, I guess if I need to explain it, no, I've never been a cop. I never was a cop. I guess I'm sorry to the police community. I was cracking a joke. If you want me to do a crying video, yeah, just give me some time. Let me, I guess try my hardest to make my eyes look all teary-eyed, or see if I can maybe spray the, like, what, how do they like this? Some of those actors, if they make themselves like cry and stuff, like, yeah, maybe I just need to practice that. Just give me some time and then I'll do like a whole crying video explaining, or yeah, apologizing to the police community. But if you watch that video and you were a cop and you laughed about that video and you're like, oh man, that's funny, I was like, I appreciate you and I appreciate you for having a sense of humor. But man, I think that's what I need to title this episode. I'm like, nah, people need to have a sense of humor, because there's just way too many people that just be, you take things too seriously on the internet. And I'm like, bruh, again, this is the internet. I'm never, and that's the crazy thing about it, is that they'll go into them people where it's like the most obvious, like they're, trying to, these fireworks are so distracting. But anyways, I think this is going to be the last podcast episode I record for the night. But anyways, but no, overall though, there's those like obvious videos where it's like the person, they're trying to be serious, but then, it's like, you could tell that it's like, they're joking around and things. And it's crazy because like, I feel like that you'll probably see some people where they will take them videos seriously too. But it's like, you'll see when people, they be joking around, and I'm thinking to myself, fam, I'm doing the same type of content. What's different from me and somebody else that just did the same exact video? So that's why I'm like, I'm tripping off of that, or maybe not the same exact video, but they just had like the same type of acting skills that I had and stuff, and I think that's what they're expecting from me, is to me be a bad actor. And I'm like, I'm not going to say I'm the best actor of all time, but I feel like if there's a video of that I need to act, I'm like, I'm not going to, I guess, act in a horrible way where I feel like I'm doing a TikTok video that'll go straight to VHS, not even DVD or Blu-ray. Like, nah, they done went back some generations and they're like, yeah, this is all that you can afford. You can't even afford your TikTok videos to go to DVD or Blu-ray. You know how upsetting that would be though, if I was all like, if they did have something like that, there's like, now you can watch your favorite TikTokers on Blu-ray, and and it's, but obviously that, but yeah, it's like, I don't even have the money to put my stuff on Blu-ray. They're like, the only thing that you can afford right now with your salary is VHS. I'm like, bro, who has a VHS tape in 2026? Like, no, let's let's talk about this real quick. But anyways, and that's the thing. Me saying that, there would be somebody that would listen to this podcast episode and they'd be like, I still have a VHS tape in 2026 and I watch VHS movies all the time. Congratulations. Do you want like a prize for it or something? It's one of those things where I'm like, fam, I don't need to have no educational lesson on how many people in this world has a VHS tape. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that have a VHS tape. I'm pretty sure my parents somewhere in their house, they have a VHS tape. So that's why I'm like, bruh, I don't need to be educated on things. People, stop taking things too seriously, okay? Have a sense of humor. Understand when a person is joking around. And if you can't, the internet might not be a place for you. Go to a Barnes and Noble and read you a book. I don't know. But anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And follow or subscribe viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.